From being at the bottom of the depth chart in college to pulling off countless miracles with the Bengals, Joe Burrow has truly overcome adversity and excelled at every step of the way. Being originally from Iowa, Joe was the son of former NFL player Jim Burrow, who played for the Green Bay Packers and was also a college football coach. The Burrows would also spend time in North Dakota before officially moving to Ohio. Attending Athens High School, Joe Burrow led his team to 3 straight playoff appearances while also earning the school's first 7 playoff wins in their history. On top of that, throughout his career, he threw for over 11,000 yards, 157 touchdowns, while also rushing for an additional 2,000 yards and 27 touchdowns. By the time he was a senior, Burrow was a 4-star quarterback while also being awarded the Mr. Football Award and Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Ohio. Graduating in 2015, Burrow decided to stay home and join Ohio State. Redshirting his first year, Burrow spent the next 2 years as a backup to J.T. Barrett. Over that span, he'd appear in 10 games where he threw for just 287 yards and 2 touchdowns. After Barrett moved on, along came Dwayne Haskins, who would take over as the Buckeyes play caller. Realizing that he'd never have a chance at Ohio State, Burrow decided to enter the transfer portal. Formally graduating at Ohio State, Burrow took his talents down south to join the LSU Tigers. In his first year there in 2018, he'd win the starting job. Burrow threw for a little under 2,900 yards and 16 touchdowns, with another 400 yards and 7 touchdowns on the ground. Leading the Tigers to a 10-3 record, the best feats of his debut season were a win over the 7th-ranked Auburn early in the year and a Fiesta Bowl win over Central Florida. It would only be up from here. Burrow came back the following season stronger than ever, opening with a 5-touchdown performance and a 55-3 win. He'd later throw for over 350 yards in 3 straight games. The Tigers under Burrow's historic year would beat countless ranked opponents, and it only got better. Going toe-to-toe with Alabama and Tua Tagovailoa, he'd throw for 393 yards and 3 touchdowns to help LSU win 46-41. Over the entire year, Burrow threw for over 5,600 yards and 60 touchdowns with a completion percentage of 76%. No doubt, one of the greatest college seasons of all time. He'd of course win the Heisman over Jalen Hurts before beating him in Oklahoma in the college football playoffs. After hanging 63 points the week before, Burrow and the LSU Tigers now faced the Clemson Tigers led by Trevor Lawrence. Joe Burrow was unstoppable yet again, throwing for 463 yards with 6 total touchdowns to win 42-25. He joined Billy Cannon in being the only Heisman winners in LSU history who also went on to beat Clemson in the national championship. Accomplishing so much in just the last 2 years, Burrow finally decided to declare for the NFL draft. Being the consensus #1 overall pick, Burrow would be taken by the Cincinnati Bengals, who were in desperate need of a quarterback to begin their rebuild. There was so much talk surrounding Burrow before and after the draft about how the Bengals would ruin him and how Joe would never really live up to his true potential, but it was clear that Coach Zach Taylor had a plan. Burrow, of course, was the only rookie quarterback in the 2020 draft class to start opening week versus the Chargers. He truly looked how you expect a rookie to look in their first game. He threw for just 193 yards, an interception, and a rushing touchdown, while the Bengals fell just short to lose 16-13 after a missed field goal. The following week was much better for Burrow. Even though Cincinnati lost, he threw for 316 yards and 3 touchdowns while breaking the NFL record for most completions by a rookie quarterback in one game. His first win came against the Jacksonville Jaguars while throwing for 300 yards in his 3rd straight game with a touchdown. Burrow later became the first rookie quarterback in NFL history to have 400 yards passing and 3 touchdowns in another loss versus Cleveland. He was showing so much promise and doing all these feats behind a terrible offensive line, and it would later come back and bite him versus the Washington football team. Right after throwing a pass, a low hit in the knee caused a torn ACL and MCL, thus ending his year after 10 games. After going down in November, it would take him 10 months for him to fully recover, and Burrow would be finally back on the field September 2021, just a little over a week before week 1. He came back strong and made a great use of having his former LSU teammate Jamar Chase to throw to. With new pieces all around, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals took a huge leap from going 4-11-1 the year before. Throwing for over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns 3 times, 2 of those games both came against the Baltimore Ravens. In one of those, he broke the Bengals franchise record single-game passing yards with 525 yards. The following week, he would throw for 446 yards and 4 touchdowns, with Jamar Chase also having over 260 yards receiving to beat the Chiefs to win the AFC North. Overall, in his first full year as a starter, Burrow threw for over 4,600 yards and 34 touchdowns with a 70% completion percentage while leading Cincinnati to a 10-7 record. Making the playoffs for the first time since 2015, the Bengals hosted the Las Vegas Raiders in the wild card. Burrow threw for 244 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the Bengals got big-time defensive stops to win their first playoff game in 31 years. The drought finally ended versus the team that started it. They move on to the divisional round where they'd face the 1-seed Tennessee Titans. Despite being sacked a playoff record 9 times, Burrow still somehow threw for 348 yards. With the Bengals defense keeping it close and forcing 3 turnovers, Burrow got them in field goal range to win 19-16 to move on to the AFC Championship. Cincinnati saw the Chiefs once again, with the game this time being in Kansas City. It started off really slow for the Bengals, being down 21-3 going into halftime. But after that, the game took a complete 360 in favor of Cincinnati. Getting stops on defense and making plays, Burrow threw for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns to tie the game at 24 going into overtime. A clutch interception by the Bengals allowed them to march down the field to kick a game-winning field goal to win 27-24. Helping bring the Bengals to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1988, Joe Burrow would also win NFL Comeback Player of the Year. In their 3rd Super Bowl appearance, Cincinnati faced the Los Angeles Rams in their home stadium. Just like the Titans, Aaron Donald and the Rams pass rush put a ton of pressure on Burrow and sacked him a record 7 times in the Super Bowl. The game was still close throughout though, with Joe throwing for 263 yards and a touchdown. After a goal line touchdown by Cooper Kupp, the Bengals had one final chance to tie the game, but multiple stops by Aaron Donald would put it to rest as the Rams would win 23-20. All in all, Joe Burrow and the Bengals truly shocked the world in the 2021 season. As a Bengals fan myself, I didn't even have them making the playoffs, so they showed everyone all around how capable they are, and this is just the beginning for Burrow, while still being just 25 years old entering year 3. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked the video, like and comment what you expect from Joe Burrow and the Bengals in 2022, and if you think they can reach another Super Bowl. And if you like me, subscribe.